August 31st, 1886, 9:47 p.m. It was very quiet, very peaceful, very much like now. 7 minutes later, Charleston, South Carolina, suffered an earthquake estimated to be anywhere between 7.9 and 8.2 in the Richter scale. Some accounts have it lasting for 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Man was walking down Broad Street. He was editor of the News and Courier. He was going to put the paper to bed, and he heard a rumbling behind him, the likes of which he had never heard before. He turned around and watched the street itself buckle at him in waves 10 feet tall. There were 25 aftershocks. That's what killed everybody. First shock came along. Everybody ran outside to see what was going on. Second shock came along. And that's when the death toll rose. It was felt as far away as Chicago and the Bahama Islands. At the end of it all, the estimates are 6 houses survived completely intact. Now, at first it was thought the only thing we could do was simply just raise the city, tear it down, build a new one. Well, we couldn't afford to. We'd been through a bit of a war back in the 1860s. We'd been through Reconstruction in the 1870s. We'd been through a depression, and to top things off, a hurricane hit us in 1885. There was simply no money. So what we had to do was, from the rubble lying around on the street, rebuild the houses brick by brick, stone by stone, stick by stick, using the original materials. So what you see are all of the original buildings. They're just somewhat rearranged. Now, when everything was being put back together, they took these long rods and inserted them in between each floor of each building. And you can see these things have turn bolts on them. And as they ever so gradually turned the bolts, the buildings ever so gradually came back together. Now, we have no idea how well that's going to work next time. Probably won't work that well, but don't you worry about the fact whether there'll be a next time or not, because it will. Geologists do say that we're supposed to have another real bad quake within 20,000 years. God knows I don't sleep at night, but quite frankly, that has very little to do with the earthquake.